So my name is Cameron. I have a YouTube cooking show called Cooking with Trash, which is where I gather food that would otherwise go to waste, perfectly edible food I should say, and bring that back home. And my mom, who is an accomplished sous chef at a restaurant here, makes use of it, puts it to use and makes gourmet meals out of it. So it's kind of an attempt to make use of that food. I guess it's a show in which anyone can do it, anyone can try it. So it's also kind of showcasing that, hey look, you don't need to have a degree, you don't need to be any important figure to make a difference. You can do it from your house. So that's what we're doing. The first time that I'd ever been experienced or kind of saw firsthand food waste in a grocery store. I walked into a grocery store and I was living with this friend at the time, and we used to go into this grocery store, and at the end of the day they'd have these huge carts, and they'd load these carts up with food like breads and fruits and vegetables, all this perfectly great food. And I remember we went up to the employee one day and we asked him, we said, hey, what's going on with all this food? Are you guys throwing it out? He's like, well, yes, we're required to throw it out based on, whether it's reached its expiry date or they have to make room for extra stock. And we said, well, hey, can we take the food? If you guys are throwing it out, surely we can have it. Being broke college students, we have no money. Surely we can make use of this food and eat it. And he said, unfortunately, we can't give it to you. The one positive thing is what I'm starting to see is as I guess things progress, more and more supermarkets, grocery stores are starting to implement different programs in which they make use and they recycle the goods. There's a lot of grocery stores, a lot of supermarkets that still have yet to implement these programs. But that was my first kind of, awakening moment to the amount of food that was being wasted. And this was a single grocery store on a single night. And sometimes we'd hit up like 5 different grocery stores in a single day. And I was like, all of this food, like this is too much for a single person. What if I were to, donate it and give it to other people kind of thing? And Cooking with Trash was born, and we, through the Cooking with Trash, I gather excess food on purpose so I can donate it to charities because, it's just sad to see such an absurd amount of food go to waste. So when I first visited Feeding Tampa Bay, I was blown away because essentially it's kind of what I'm doing, but just on a much bigger scale, and it's so refreshing to see because when I was able to come here and see that, hey look, there are organizations that are making use of all this food that supermarkets and grocery stores and businesses are throwing out, and they are distributing. Not only are they making use of food waste, but they're feeding people who are in need, the food insecure. Even though we live in a first world country, there's still 40% of all food, from what I understand, 40% of all food that is produced every year goes to waste. There's the mindset is like, hey, we've got a surplus, we got an ample amount of food over here. We never have to worry about going hungry. I think that's the issue, is when you've got access to food, so it's so simple, it's so easy that you stop thinking about maybe being a bit more frugal with the food that you eat. But now, after seeing all the food waste and what can be done with it, I want to kind of share my story, my experience, my message with those who are in my shoes where I once was, and kind of tell them like, hey, listen, I was there, I was the exact same as you, but this is a reality. And I think a lot of people, it's very easy to look the other way and pretend like it's not happening. It's very easy not to engage. Not my problem, I've got food over here, I've got safety, I've got security, so I'm just going to stick with this. And that over there, we'll just pretend like that isn't happening. So I kind of want to get the message out there and be like, well, listen, unfortunately, it is happening, and a lot of people may have that mindset, well, it doesn't affect me, it's not my problem. Well, actually, it does affect you. It affects all of us. I can guarantee you no one's really seen a landfill before. And a landfill essentially is just a big garbage pit. And creates an immense amount of greenhouse gases, which are the #1 contributor to the global warming effect. And you've got something called leachate, which is essentially where the garbage breaks down, creates this like toxic sludge. And when rain comes through, right, it dumps onto the toxic sludge and creates this substance called leachate, which then drains into the soil that we use to grow, to consume our food, and leaks into the waterways that we use for water, to drink, to survive. So I think that was my message with Cooking with Trash, is like, listen guys, it is all of our problem, whether you feel like you're directly involved or not. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of food waste every year, and I think by sharing what different food banks and stuff are doing, we can get the message out there, get more people engaged, proactive, and hopefully hopefully make a difference somewhat so.